Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish, especially when it comes to product reviews and even more so when I'm putting them head to head, which I'm so excited about. So a few weeks ago, I posted a video of Crack Polish's neutralizer, which if you're unfamiliar with the concept of a neutralizer in nail polish, basically like if you are someone like me who has yellow stained nails, which you'll see in a further close-up once I'm over at my nail desk shortly, putting a purple tinted base coat over top of yellow stained nails is intended to neutralize that yellow color and give you a more neutral colored surface to work from because of color theory, and because purple and yellow are on opposite sides of the color wheel. It's also the reason why, as I'm wearing red today, I've chosen to have green as like my backlighting color, because they're also complementary colors. So when I got Crack Polish's neutralizer, I bought it as just part of my, like, one of my orders with them. I, at the time, wasn't intending to start a whole series out of it, but hey, sometimes that happens, woo, yay. And part of it was because I had some thoughts on the product, both some strengths and some areas that I think where it could be improved. But also I found that I was surprised by how I was able to also get some good use out of it as a blurring base coat, meaning like if you're wearing a more sheer nail polish, putting it over a blurring base coat as opposed to either directly on your nail or directly onto a regular non-blurring base coat will allow you to have more of a fuller opacity look. And so then I posted that video. You all loved it. Thank you. And many of you, several of you suggested that I do a battle of the neutralizers. So I was like, you know what? That's what they want. And that's also exciting for me too. So that's what we're gonna do. And so I have, I'll get to the one that we're focusing on today in a moment, but beyond this one from Zoya, I also have, let's see, I have 3 others that I've purchased from 3 other brands. I already have those 3 here at home. They've come in the mail and everything. And then in addition to that, there's 2 others that I am waiting to receive. I believe I've got those counts right. There's quite a few of them out there, and I wanted to give them a try and you know, see how they compare to one another. So the plan for this is I'm going to review each of them individually on their own video, because for those of you who saw the neutralizer video, you know how I tested that base coat with a number of different polishes. I tested it with like a blue jelly, a red jelly, a very sheer polish, which it's back. All of them are back, except for, I'll get to it. And then a blue flake polish. So I'm gonna have that consistency from video to video. And then at the end of all that, I'm going to do like a overall thoughts and comparison kind of thing. I don't yet know what the structure of that one will be, but I'll figure it out when I get there. Hey, but for now, we have the this product from Zoya, which is their Naked Manicure Perfector. Zoya sells this in a number of different shades. I believe this one is in their lavender shade. In just a moment, I'm going to give you all the details about pricing, the size of this, any instructions that come with the product. And yeah, just like before with neutralizer, I'm going to be looking at things like, how's the formula? Because it's very similar, I think, to just like when you're working with any just kind of nail polish in general. You can have a, and when I say you, I mean like you in the general sense, but like I'll just say for me personally, I can have a nail polish that has an absolutely stunning finish, a beautiful color and everything like that. But then if the formula is a pain to work with, then I'm like, I'm gonna try to see if I can get a dupe of another one from somewhere else or recreate it, because ain't nobody got time to be wrestling with a formula that's not working with you, you know? So that's one of the things I'm gonna be looking at. And I should also mention too, that with the cracked neutralizer, like I said, I bought that one not intending to do a review of it. So once I got that one in the mail, I had been using it for a few weeks on my own, just kind of like seeing how it works, seeing how I could work with it. And by the time I filmed the review video for that one, I had a lot of lived experience with the product to be able to share with you all. However, this one here, and for all the other ones that I'm going to be reviewing, I have not even opened this, I haven't even opened the bottle to like see what the viscosity of the liquid is. Everything that I'll be saying about this and all my thoughts and opinions are truly going to be what I'm experiencing in real time for the first time. And y'all know how it can be with my the things I just say very randomly. So who knows what kind of adventure we're gonna go on, but you know what? We're gonna go on this adventure together. I am so excited for you all to take this neutralizing journey with me. So without further ado, let's get into it. As always, I like to begin by briefly showing you what's on my nails. So for today, let me actually show you a closer look at what this dress is like. So this is like, the outfit I'm wearing today is actually a dress. And so the fabric looks like this. And because it looks like this, like, you know, this kind of red with some silver glitter sparkle in it, that is why I am wearing my nails like that. So you kind of see the vision for matching that. The main polish here is from ILMP. It is Joy. And because this is a jelly polish that has hollow in it, and it can take a number of coats to build up, and I don't even know if it gets to truly full opacity on its own, I decided to put down 2 coats of Zoya's Janelle, a red cream polish, to get full opacity here, and then put on a couple more coats of Joy to like darken it. Like you can do just 1 coat of Joy over it, but you don't get that really deeper, rich red that I like. So Joy is actually going to be coming back a little bit later in this video for some testing, so be on the lookout for that. And now let's take a closer look at the guest, the special guest for today, the Naked Manicure Perfector from Zoya in the shade of Lavender. So I, on my iPad in front of me, on my desk here, I've got the details pulled up that I'm gonna read out to you, but also have that overlaid on the screen when I'm editing. So the description, it says, Perfector in Lavender enhances bare nails for a cool, neutralizing tone. Then for instructions, you know, I want to see, is this something that, does it say like how many coats I should use, anything like that? No, it really just says like prep and clean the nail. The instructions are more so telling you like which Zoya products are what the ones that they recommend to use at various steps of the process. So all it really says for step 2 is apply your favorite Zoya base or Naked Manicure base coat. It doesn't say anything about specific number of coats, so I'm just going to take that for what it is. Now some details about size and pricing. This is a 15 milliliter bottle. I purchased mine off of Amazon for $12, and because I was already ordering some other things from there and I was able to, you know, just tack this on and get free shipping, If you buy it directly from Zoya's website, this on its own costs $14, and you would need to pay for shipping, unless, I don't know if they have a free shipping threshold or anything like that, but just something to keep in mind. Okay, so the first part of our process is going to be showing you how this looks when we use a blue jelly polish. So this one that I'm going to use is from Blank Beauty, called Blueberry Jam. On my, these are the two fingers that I'll be using for testing today. On the right, the right one, so my middle finger here, y'all know what I'm trying to say. I just put down a coat of a completely clear base coat. This is from Blank Beauty, their anti-peel base coat. And while that is drying, we're gonna go ahead and crack this open and put on the left one. I'm switching, I think I'm switching up the fingers that I'm using compared to last time, because looking at how my staining is going today, it looks like the left finger here has slightly more of a yellow staining going on to it. So for these products, I really want to push them to their limit and see what they can do. So once again, this is my first time opening this. Oh, really? It's got the skinny brush. Hold up. Okay. You know what? I have a replacement brush. Do I want to swap that out or not? You know what? Okay. For a minute there, I thought about, did I want to swap this out? Because I do have some Zoya replacement brushes, like with the wider paddle brush, kind of like, if I show you how this looks here, for any of you who are unfamiliar with Zoya's paddle brushes, they're the ones that look more like this. However, I thought about it and I felt, well, you know what? I want to do this and be true to the product that you're going to get like straight out of the box. So if they're shipping this with a skinny brush, then a skinny brush is what we're going to use. So with that being said, if I seem like I'm struggling to talk, apparently, girl, if I'm struggling to apply this, it is because this is a ridiculously skinny brush. So here we go. Okay, the formula seems to be, you know, nice and self-leveling. Not super opaque just yet. I mean, I'm not expecting it to really give us, say, the opacity of a blurring base coat at this stage, but I do think that if I'm gonna have any hope of getting this to like really neutralize something, I'm not really seeing much, if anything, of a difference so far between my, like, you know, the nail on its own or with a completely clear base coat versus this one coat here. But you know, I think that compared to Crack's neutralizer, the formula is it's a different formula. Like and I don't know how I'll be able to, you know, continue doing all of these direct comparisons as I'm, sorry, I just did my nails and so my grip is not good. Power tools, not really power tools, just I keep this on my desk for times when my hands on their own just aren't cutting it. I'm not sure how I'll be able to keep this up as I get into, like, you know, the fourth or fifth one that I'm comparing, but for now though, since I've only got 1-to-1, I can more easily show you. Here's how Crack's neutralizer looks, and here's how the Zoya Naked Manicure looks. So even from here, you can probably see that on the right, Cracked is visibly more opaque. However, as you may recall from my first video about neutralizer, it did have a considerably streakier formula. So that is something. Let me go ahead and think I should be able to It's pretty dry. I'm gonna follow that up with a second coat now. Yeah, because that, if I were to put this on over there, it's like, this finger, it just looks glazed, if anything. I don't really see any neutralizing that has been going on. So I'm just dipping in, and you know, I'm being very cautious with my application here and ensuring that I'm not like, well, y'all know me, I tend to be more on the heavy-handed side of things. But in this case, okay, I am glad that I went back in for that second coat, because that was definitely what I needed to be able to get a more visibly different color there. So I'm gonna let this sit and completely dry, and then once I come back, we will go ahead and put on our blue jelly polish. So it's dry, so let's go ahead and start with putting this blue jelly, Blank Beauty's Blueberry Jam, first over this one so that I can show you how that looks. And again, for those of you who are new to this concept of neutralizing and you're curious, like, oh, okay, well, what's going on here? Why am I watching this video? What's up? Just think about like yellowish stained nails plus a blue jelly polish is going to equal some green looking nails. So isn't that lovely? You know, and to be clear, this blue jelly from Blank Beauty is an absolutely great formula, beautiful color, just not, in my opinion, directly over my yellow stained nails. So now let's see how this looks when I put it over 2 coats of the Zoya Perfector. And what I'm going to be looking for here is to see to what extent is this being neutralized. We're not really yet looking at this from the standpoint of, is it a blurring base coat? But, you know, I can make some observations on that as well. Okay, so this in one coat looks pretty good as far as, once again, I'm apparently using my cleanup brush as a pointer here. On the left, yeah, I am looking and seeing that with the Perfector itself, looking into like through the jelly, I'm not seeing any kind of streakiness there. That is really good to have, an excellent quality to have in a neutralizer when you, or any kind of blurring base coat. So there's that. Now to the extent to which is it neutralizing here? I think so. I mean, especially considering that on the left, that finger, as I mentioned, is, to my eye, more stained than this one. The fact that I'm, you know, seeing considerably less yellow over here than I am here, that's pretty fantastic. Okay, Zoya, I see what you're doing. So let's go in for a second coat, starting on the right. Yeah, I mean, even in like 2 coats here, me putting this directly over, you know, the yellow stained nail, even with like the clear base coat there, you can, it's still kind of swampy. And yeah, that especially, like, you know, you see the top half of this is really where that's coming through. Now, let's see how it looks over Perfector in a second coat. Okay, that is really nice. It is, yeah. once again, the quality, of the Zoya formula there is so smooth. I'm not seeing any streakiness as I'm looking through this. I am not seeing any yellow here whatsoever by this point. So it's doing a fantastic job of neutralizing that yellow that's coming through. Now from here, looking at this as a blurring base coat, I feel that that cracks neutralizer in 2 coats gives me a greater level of opacity that provides better blurring quality. But I'm going to say the same thing that I did in the crack video, which is, just to clarify, Zoya's Perfector is not advertising itself as a blurring base coat. Let me double check. Yeah, so just returning to the description again, it just says Perfector enhances bare nails for a cool neutralizing tone. So I say that because I just want to be fair to these products, and I don't want to like harshly judge them for not performing well in something that they are not intended to do. But because I know that I personally like to try to get as much like multiple uses out of a single product as I can. If it's the case that, hey, you've got a neutralizer that can also double as a fantastic blurring base, that could be something to keep in mind when you're choosing one product over another. So yeah, one last look at the difference here between these two. So let me get these cleaned off and we'll move on to our next test. Our next experiment or test is going to be comparing these when they're used over a red jelly base polish. So I've already put down the base coat for this one here. So let's go back again and do this over the ring finger. You know, this the skinny brush, I think because I am working very cautiously here, I'm able to make it work for me. But I think that if I were to have tried to use this, well, I mean, I do remember what it was like when I tried using skinny brushes from Zoya when I first got into nail polish, and it was a challenge for me. So it's a little disappointing that this did not come with the wider paddle brush, but you know, you are able to, if you are shopping directly from Zoya, you can buy those as add-ons if needed. So let's go back to this here as this is drying. So this is ILMP's Joy, and in my first video with Cracks Neutralizer, the red jelly polish that I used for that one was Starly's Flame Jelly. However, and let me show you here, I don't have Flame Jelly pulled up, but I did want to show you what it looks like when we use Joy, because I noticed with Flame Jelly, it just wasn't like, it's a stunning red polish, but it was too opaque for me. Whereas I want something that's going to be more, more see-through. So here is, like, if I just swatch this out here, you see how like you can just see straight through it there, and it, yes, it does have hollow in it, but I want to test this out because look how messy I am there. Oh my goodness. I want to test this out over these nails because red plus yellow equals orange. So we'll see how that goes. So let's do a second coat here. And yeah, with as many of these blurring, these neutralizing polishes as I have bought, I am definitely going to be getting some good use out of them because I don't like having visible nail lines. So yeah, I will use these. Don't worry about me. Yeah, that just, it goes on so well. Like I don't find myself having to like fight with the formula. It's just so smooth. Like, look at that from the side. Like, that's nice. Okay, that's a really good formula. So while that's drying, let's go ahead and see how it looks when I do one coat of Joy over my regular nail here. And yeah, I always do swap out my ILMP skinny brushes for the paddle ones. It's not as like, see, I was kind of, it's strange how it is, this is more opaque in one coat on its own than I realize. So I'm not, okay, so we're kind of transitioning into more of the blurring base capabilities. Not to worry about the neutralizing though, because I do have a blue flake polish coming up later on where we will be talking about the more neutralizing aspects of it. But yeah, here's what we're working with. You can kind of see my nail line like starting here and going over. So let's jump over to this one. So from a blurring base standpoint, I'm not seeing as much of a difference here with that. What I am seeing though, and let me put these fingers down so that they're not in the way. What I am seeing is that the one on the left with Perfector is looking ever so slightly more pink. It's not as like red saturated, which is to be expected because I'm like basically like lightening the surface that I'm putting this red polish over. So far though, not a whole great deal of difference. But if I were to compare this to like a longer finger here, now granted, I do have a, I used a cream polish underneath here, and you know, that's gonna give you much more opacity, but hopefully you can start to see the impact that using this kind of polish like Joy essentially as a topper can have on the overall look of a polish. So like, let's go back in for a second coat of Joy. Yeah, so like if you see like right there is where I'm seeing that nail line, and I also personally prefer the deeper red tones that I'm able to get out of Joy by layering it. So that's where my thinking was there, but it's starting to cover up the nail line. Like if I showed my nails to anyone, they would just be like, oh, your nails are so cute. But me, I can see that the nail line is there. So it's, you know, like the things that no one else will ever see, but you as the individual, you know it's there. Okay. I do have a different red jelly polish I'm gonna probably use for the next neutralizing video, since this was more opaque than I was expecting, but hey, science. Okay. I think in 2 coats though, I am seeing a visible difference with this as a blurring base coat. Absolutely. Really not seeing much, if any, visible nail line on the left, whereas I am still on the right. So I do think that Perfector does have some great qualities or great potential to be used in addition to a neutralizer as a blurring base coat. Those of you who watched the neutralizer video though, if you remember the order in which I did these polishes, you know what's coming up next, so here we go. So next we're gonna really push the boundaries of seeing how this could maybe be used as a blurring base coat by testing it with what is almost certainly the most sheer polish that I own. First though, let's go ahead and start with the first coat of this. Yeah, y'all, this is it's got a really great formula. You know what? Okay, since I have been using this so far, I gave it, you know, a couple of tests with the skinny brush. I'm gonna swap it out for a paddle brush. I will be right back. Okay. Yeah, I think this will make it even easier for me to apply. Yeah. Oh, that already I feel so much more comfortable. Okay, let's see. Yeah, application is just as good, if not, it is, I feel more confident in using the paddle brush. I'd be curious to see like which brush, if there are any differences and which one holds more polish than the other. But yeah, so, I mean, she's back. You know, after her fantastic debut in the other video, the most sheer polish in my collection. Ta-da! This unreleased prototype from Bee's Knees Lacquer. And, you know, it's, yeah, I think that when you see this over my finger here, you'll definitely see just how sheer it is. But I think that if there's any polish in my collection that I can trust to really show the benefit of using a blurring base coat, it is this one here. So I think I can go back in now for a second coat. And here is where I would probably, I'm gonna dip just a little bit more. Okay. All right, so while that sits, let's see. Oh boy. Y'all's comments on this one, like there was one person who said they actually really liked it. And you know, it's got potential. It does. I think in the last video I showed how it looks over black, and it kind of pops over black, not gonna lie. But there we go. I also mentioned when I showed this the last time, because this is an unreleased prototype, I'm actually not sure if it's intended to be a topper or not, but y'all know how sheer Bee's Knees polishes can be, so it wouldn't surprise me if this is really intended to be like for the people who do love wearing very, very sheer polishes. On its own here, clearly you can see straight through to the nail line. I'm not expecting a whole lot to happen over here, knowing how sheer this is, but hey, we're here for science, so let's go. You know, once again though, I've got to commend this Perfector for having such a smooth formula. Like it is just, it self-levels so beautifully. And I'm mentioning this because if you are someone who personally struggles with nail polish leveling, and say for example, if you're someone who's newer to nail polish and you find certain brands have formulas that can be a little bit finicky to work with, I've got to recommend this one. You know, in this case, not so much for being a blurring base. Being a blurring base for these products is, in my opinion, more of, hey, that's a bonus more than anything else. So from what I'm seeing overall with this product, I think that it's doing a really good job of neutralizing. I so far would not say that if you are looking for a single product that's going to give you both neutralizing and blurring base capabilities, this is probably not going to be the one for you. But if you're looking for neutralizing and with a fantastic formula, I think it's pretty good. So here we are. Look at my nails. Okay, I'm gonna take these off and let's go on to our fourth and final test for this video. Okay, we're gonna wrap things up by using a blue flake polish. Going back to, that's absolutely gonna show us the neutralizing capabilities of this. Let me first start with the first coat of this. Yeah, such a great formula here. I really like this a lot. I have many thoughts on this. I'm always trying to remind myself, like, Olivia, save final thoughts for the end. You can do that. But yeah, I think I already do have a sense of what those final thoughts will be. But we're gonna let that dry for a bit. And so the polish I'm going to be using for this final comparison comes from KB Shimmer. It is a gorgeous flake polish called I'll Be There. And with this one, it's like someone took a mermaid and shoved them in a bottle. I don't know why I say these things. But yeah, it's like you've got, if I just look at it from here, I primarily see blue. But then when you get closer, and especially as the flakes start to color shift, you start to pick up more of this like gold, the green, the teal. And this is actually a polish that, as I mentioned in the previous video with neutralizer, I didn't really wear this one a whole lot after I bought it because I felt that my, it wasn't showing up on my nails the way that I wanted it to. And I didn't realize at the time that it was because of my yellow stained nails combining with the blue color here that it wasn't giving me that very much more vibrant blue color payoff that I could have been getting otherwise. So let's go back in for a second coat. So smooth. This is phenomenal. I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, y'all, but I can't emphasize enough. It is very smooth. It is not at all streaky. This is just, it's like glass. It is very nice. And also I'm finding that I'm needing to do very minimal cleanup with this. That's another reason why I would recommend this if you're someone who may struggle with certain formulas not being self-leveling, and maybe you haven't yet mastered like how to best use a cleanup brush. I'm doing minimal cleanup with this one, y'all. It's really nice. So let's put this to the side. And while that is drying, I'm gonna go in for my first coat of I'll Be There over this nail. Okay. So this is a very flaky, dense polish. It is so beautiful. So here's what we've got so far, and you might not yet be seeing what I'm referring to as far as this not looking the way that I wanted it to until I show you how this hopefully is going to look over Perfector with having a lot of this yellow neutralized. So like again, there is yellow in here, right? But here's the difference. I'm hoping this is the difference because I haven't tested this out yet, but we gonna see. Yes. Yep. It's doing it. It's neutralizing it. Okay. So the difference here is that on the right, the gold is like popping out of there. It is so prominent. Whereas on the left, we're seeing a more blue forward color coming through. To be clear though, if we combine this with the question of like blurring base, then I feel that Crack's neutralizer is more effective in that regard because it is more opaque. And you know, as I'm talking this through, I think, like, you know, the concept of a neutralizer and the concept of a blurring base, they do actually go quite well together, because you think about the opacity of like this kind of base polish, and you know, you want something that is going to block the if it's a neutralizer, you want it to cancel out the yellow. If it's a blurring base, you want it to be something that's opaque enough to remove the appearance of the visible nail line. But then also, not just the nail line, that a blurring base can also do quite a bit to hide the yellow. So, you know, when you think about it like that, it kind of makes sense that this kind of product could have multiple uses. Let's go in for a second coat. Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's still more on the yellowish side, I feel. And if I go and put a second coat over the more neutral side, oh yeah, this is, yep. This is the sky blue kind of color that I want it to be. And I don't know if this is going to pick up on camera in this lighting, but just trust me when I say, on the left, I'm getting so much more like vivid sky blue. Whereas over here, that blue, it's there in this second coat, but y'all, it is struggling. It's fighting for its life to kind of push through, you know? Can I see at this angle? Let's see how I'm doing here. Maybe, yeah, maybe at this angle, you can see how, like, if I tilt my fingers up a bit, I'm definitely seeing more gold over here compared to when I tilt this finger up, it's more blue. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with the yellow that's coming from underneath. So, you know, for any of you who may have similar polishes like this in your collection, I know often when we talk about the concept of a neutralizer, we think about it being used with more sheer polishes, but you know, something like I'll Be There, this blue flake polish is an excellent example of how you can still use a neutralizer with this and get a lot of great benefit out of it. And so for me, knowing that I can use a neutralizing base to get more of that blue that I want, it is just, I'm so glad I didn't destash this. I didn't give up on you. I knew you had potential. With that being said, let's go ahead and wrap up for some final thoughts. So, final thoughts on Zoya's Naked Manicure Perfector in the shade Lavender. I was very impressed by how well this performed as a neutralizer. Again, I'm singing the praises of the formula of this polish because it is just a dream to work with. Even with the skinny brush, which for me is saying something. Like, y'all, I thought I was going to be fighting for my life there. I thought it was going to be hard, but it was okay. I survived. I still did swap it out for a paddle brush, but you know what? I did my best. But in all seriousness, it self-leveled incredibly well. It dried very quickly, and its neutralizing capabilities worked. I think that, yeah, from what I was seeing, I would recommend using this in 2 coats, because at least on maybe, you know, depending on the level of your staining, of course. But for me and my level of staining, I knew that I needed to do 2 coats because just one was not gonna really do anything. Now, as far as using it as a blurring base, I would not recommend seeking this out specifically to be used as a blurring base, which again, to be fair and clear, is not what this is intended to do. I see that more as a bonus of a neutralizing base coat. But if you are looking for primarily a neutralizer with just a little tiny bit of blurring, then this could be a good one for you to consider. Also, if you are, so let's say with everything I've been saying so far, you're like, Olivia, sounds good, cool. Like, ultimately, should I get it? I mean, if you are already planning to make an order with Zoya and you want to tack this on to take advantage of whatever kind of like shipping discounts they might have, that would be, probably a good thing to do. Or if you are someone who doesn't want to have to like place an order with an indie brand just to and again, knowing that like I think Zoya is technically more on the like boutique side, but I'm just saying like some of the other products in this series that I'll be reviewing are from indies. So, I mean, if you're not wanting to place an order with an indie brand, which might have slower processing times compared to say Amazon, and this is something that you're wanting to be able to try more quickly and to probably get free shipping, like if you're buying some other stuff there anyway, like I was, then hey, I'd recommend looking this up on Amazon and giving it a try. $12 for this, for the 15 milliliters, not bad. I know that Crack's neutralizer was a little bit less than that, but then again, it comes down to like, well, if you're somebody who prioritizes having a smooth formula, as far as formula is concerned, I think that Zoya wins out over Cracked. But if you're, and I think they're probably like pretty even, I think, when it comes to the neutralizing capabilities. When it comes to blurring base though, Cracked wins out in that category. So, I think it's gonna really all depend on which aspects of a neutralizer are most important to you. But yeah, I'm glad that I have this. I will definitely be using this. And yeah, I am excited to keep trying out the other ones that I have. So if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so if you like, so you don't miss out on those other videos when I post them. And if any of you have tried this before, or any of the other shades that Perfector comes in, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear any experiences that you have with it, if there's any tips and tricks that you have with application and so on. Please let me know. Well, yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out what color nail polish I'm going to wear tomorrow, because I put on this red for this outfit because I felt like being red and sparkly for filming tonight, but I don't know if I want to wear red nail polish tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna redo my nails after this, because why not? So as always, thank y'all so much for being here on this channel and part of this community, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.